In the early 1930s, Indian cinema acquired a powerful new tool: sound. Filmmakers had finally figured out how to record dialogue, but they still lacked a cohesive visual and dramatic grammar to tell sweeping, uniquely Indian stories. Out on the streets, Parsi theater was the dominant urban entertainment, a popular performance tradition that blended Persian, Indian, and European stage styles. But when veteran stage actors tried to step in front of a camera, their booming performances often felt awkward and out of place on screen. This created a massive aesthetic vacuum in the young film industry. Filling that gap with true historical epics required taking massive financial and creative risks. Producing lavish sets, authentic costumes, and sprawling casts was incredibly expensive, and the major studios of the era actively avoided that kind of exposure. The industry required a figure willing to shoulder the immense personal risk of defining its future. That figure was Sohrab Modi. Born in 1897, Modi brought an unmatched regal physical stature and a famously resonant Urdu diction to the silver screen. Urdu is a major Indo-Aryan language, known for its rich literary heritage and elegant, refined vocabulary. His peers eventually nicknamed him Dhurandhar. In Hindi, the word translates roughly to a great warrior, or specifically, one who carries the heavy burden. Over a career spanning nearly 5 decades, Modi bore 3 distinct burdens: artistic, political, and technical. Through absolute force of will, he took a fledgling medium of basic entertainment and forged it into a formidable national art form. Modi's artistic foundation was built on the stage. He grew up immersed in Parsi theater, specializing in the psychological complexity and grand rhetoric of Shakespearean roles like Hamlet and Othello. When he transitioned to films, he refused to let studio executives dilute his vision. In 1936, he founded his own production house, Minerva Movietone, a move designed purely to secure total, uncompromising creative control over his projects. He solved the awkward stage-to-screen transition by treating the camera differently than his peers. He used his impeccable Urdu diction to drive the narrative, blending the intense oratory of the stage with the sweeping visual possibilities of a cinematic canvas. By taking on this artistic burden, he established an aesthetic standard for the Indian historical genre, lavish, morally clear, and dialogue-driven, that directors still study today. Modi's ambitions extended beyond aesthetics. In 1941, at the absolute height of the Indian independence movement, he released his magnum opus, Sikandar. The film dramatizes the legendary 326 BCE encounter between Alexander the Great and the Indian king Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes. It portrays Porus as a fiercely proud, undefeated warrior. This was a calculated Trojan horse strategy. By burying a deeply nationalistic undercurrent inside an ancient historical epic, Modi successfully bypassed the strict British colonial censors. When Porus delivers his defiant line, "Main hara nahin," meaning "I am not defeated," theaters erupted. Audiences across the country immediately recognized the implicit challenge to colonial authority. Carrying that political burden proved that Bollywood could be a powerful, mobilizing weapon for national morale. After India gained independence in 1947, Modi refused to coast on his past successes. He immediately pivoted to the technical burden of pushing the industry's boundaries. He took a massive financial risk to direct the 1953 historical epic, Jhansi Ki Rani, cementing his status as a pioneer by making it one of the very first Indian films shot entirely in Technicolor. The film starred his wife and most frequent collaborator, the celebrated actress Mehtab. She took on the title role of the warrior queen, and her formidable screen presence perfectly complemented Modi's grand directorial vision. The very next year, he released the 1954 biographical film Mirza Ghalib. This marked a sharp pivot away from massive visual spectacles and toward intense cultural preservation, focusing on the life of the legendary 19th-century poet. The film captured the rich, authentic literary tradition of Urdu poetry, packaging the complex beauty of Ghalib's ghazals for mass audience consumption. A ghazal is a classic poetic form consisting of rhyming couplets, often exploring themes of loss, longing, and metaphysical love. These consecutive masterworks demonstrated that Modi was a technical pioneer and a guardian of India's deepest cultural traditions. The artistic weight of Mirza Ghalib earned it a historic distinction. It won the very first President's Gold Medal for Best Film, the prestigious award that would eventually become the National Film Award. Decades later, his lifetime of contributions was recognized with India's highest cinematic honor, the 1980 Dada Saheb Phalke Award, and the government issued a commemorative postal stamp in his honor in 2013. But awards only tell a fraction of the story. His true influence is the visual and dramatic grammar he meticulously built from scratch, which remains the foundation for generations of Indian filmmakers. It is easy to look back at early Bollywood and see a natural progression of art, but progress requires someone willing to do the heavy lifting. For half a century, Sohrab Modi carried the entire weight of Indian cinema's evolution on his shoulders, earning every letter of the title Dhurandhar.